Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's me, UFC Investor. In this video, we're going to be talking about UFC 307 Pereira versus Rountree. I'm really excited for this card because this is the first fight in the UFC where two open Freemasons are going to be fighting. One guy uses black magic. The other guy's a model for Prada. Either guy has a really good chance to win, and whoever wins is probably going to win Kayla Harrison. But let's get into the first fight. Okay guys, so for the first fight of the night, we have Tim Means versus Court McGee. Both of these guys are old. Tim Means is 40 years old. McGee's 39. McGee has been training at, like, I would say higher elevation because he's from Utah, but both of these guys have like a bunch of losses in like the past like 4 or 5 fights. I would think that Tim Means has like the better level of competition in terms of the guys he's fought. He's fought Holland, Morono, Medic. Both of these guys have fought Morono before, but Tim Means, I would think he is probably like the better striker and the person more likely to try to get a finish. Tim Means right now he's like a minus 210 versus Court McGee, who's a plus 175. So most people are kind of agreeing that Tim Means is probably the better pick. I kind of don't agree how one-sided the bets are for Tim Means. I think it should probably be like more 150, 160 favorite for Tim Means, but I could see why. I don't think age is going to play much of a factor in this because obviously they're both like 40 years old. Tim Means is a little taller, but their reach is almost the same. And when you look at their stats, their striking is almost the same. If not, Tim Means is like a little bit better in terms of like the output and the accuracy, but even then it's not that much of a big difference. Their grappling, it's I wouldn't say they're either one of them is a grappler because it doesn't seem like they want to take it to the ground. I would think they prefer to strike. I'm gonna be going Tim Means round 3 TKO. I was thinking round 1 TKO Means, but I don't know, I feel like McGee's gonna hold out, and I was thinking decision for Means too, but I think he could get a finish because in the last 3 fights McGee's been finished twice in round 1, so that's why I was thinking round 1 for Means to win, but I'm thinking it could go a little longer and Means could finish him in round 3. So I would think Means could probably get the win by TKO, if not decision. Maybe a sub, but I think that's what most likely is going to happen for Means. Probably TKO, decision, then sub. As for Court McGee, I think if he were to win, I think he'd probably win by decision, if not TKO on Means. And yeah, I think it's a pretty straightforward fight. I don't really think anyone should bet on this one because I feel like it can go either way. Yeah, let's go to the next fight. Oh, almost forgot to show you guys their Instagram. Here's Court McGee's Instagram. He marries people. I didn't really see him post anything, I guess like training with other people, so I don't think he's doing anything special for this one. I guess the usual. And this is Tim's Instagram, same as usual, you know, nothing in particular, just a normal post. So like I said, I'm gonna be going Tim Means for this pick. Okay guys, so for the next fight we have Carla Esparza, the Cookie Monster, versus Tecia Pennington, Tiny Tornado. I don't want to say too much on this one either guys because I don't know, it's a WMMA fight. I don't want to say either one is the boring fighter, but I'm not really expecting much for this fight. I think it's probably going to go to decision. I think maybe there'll be a submission, but I think it might be like a boring fight, honestly. Maybe I'm thinking of that fight Carla Esparza had with Rose, but yeah, I'm going to be picking Esparza on this one. When I'm looking at their stats, obviously Esparza has a lot more takedowns. I would think Tecia is probably going to be the one wanting to strike, but I'm pretty sure Carla Esparza is just going to try to take it down, control it, maybe get a submission or a ground and pound. But yeah, there's not really too much to think about this one. I'm going Esparza by decision. Esparza right now is actually the underdog, which I thought was kind of surprising. Right now on Bovada, they have Esparza as a plus 150, and a Tecia Pennington is a minus 175. If you guys didn't know, Tecia Pennington is Raquel Pennington's wife. If you guys didn't know that, here's their Instagram. They have a kid together, so this is their kid. You know, this is her with the champ. You know, I didn't really know that until I saw them together. It's pretty interesting. I'm wondering if the champ type of lifestyle or the training or just the Raquel being the champ is also gonna make Tecia better. Who knows? I'm assuming since she's training with Raquel, she should be getting better, but I don't think it's she's gonna be able to stop Carla's takedowns. I don't think there's any posts that I wanted to show you guys any in particular from Ticia's Instagram. You know, she just posts her family. And then Carla, this is her Instagram. She was the UFC champ at one point in other organizations too, and this is her training with Luana. So that's pretty cool. So I don't really want to go too much into into this one either. This is an underdog pick because I am picking Carla Esparza to win by decision. So Tecia Pennington probably could obviously win too, but Carla Esparza should be able to do it just by controlling Tecia. Honestly, I wouldn't be too surprised either if Tecia won. I think most of her wins are by decision, so I could imagine if she just survives the takedowns, and she's never been finished, if she just survives the takedowns and like points it out, she could beat Carla Esparza by decision. But no, I definitely don't think Ticia's gonna finish Carla. So I think Carla's or Ticia's only route to victory is to point it out. I think Carla probably knows that, and I'm thinking if her takedowns don't work, then I think she knows as well that she's gonna have to point it out too, and she's probably been working on her striking. So I'm gonna be going Carla decision on this one. Kind of boring pick, but like I said, I don't really have much expectations for this one. I don't think there's much else to say for this. Like I said, both of these girls usually win by decision. Their striking is, not the most impressive either. Carla's mostly a grappler. The takedown defense for Pennington is actually kind of worrying at 65%. Let me double check that on the UFC site. On the UFC site, Pennington's takedown defense is 65%. So if she just stuffs Carla's takedowns, then she could win by decision, which I can obviously see. But I'm thinking Carla should be able to take her down and control it and win by decision. Oh man, now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like like I said, most likely Pennington's probably been working on her takedown defense, and if she just stuffs the takedowns from Carla, she can easily win. But I'm gonna be picking the side that thinks that Carla can probably take her down. If not, maybe outpoint her too. I don't think Carla's that bad on the feet. I don't know. I keep thinking about that Rose fight with her. It's just like horrible memories, but I think she could do it. I think she'll bounce back. She was a champ at one point, and she has been fighting like the best people recently. So I don't think Tecia can beat her right now. Her age, let's see how old she is. She is 36 years old versus Tecia, who is 35. So I don't think age is going to be much of a factor here. Like I said, it might be just a boring fight, and I think Carla might take this as the underdog. Let's go to the next fight. Okay, guys, we have another fight. This one I'm actually a little, I guess, excited about. I think there might be a finish in this one. We have Ryan Spann, Anthony Smith's arch nemesis versus OSP, Ovince Preux. Both of these guys are old. Let me double check their age. I think both these guys are like 40 years old. Yeah, OSP's 41 years old. Ryan Spann is 33. So honestly, guys, I think I have said it before on the channel. I'm just gonna pick Ryan Spann because he's younger. I'm not gonna be picking 41-year-old OSP versus 33-year-old Spann. Yeah, Spann has a bunch of losses recently. His last losses were 3 losses actually from Bogdan, which is Anthony Smith's alter ego, Anthony Smith and Nikita Krylov. I mean, it definitely doesn't look too good, but he fought Anthony Smith in the rematch, and Anthony Smith is still pretty decent, I would think. And Nikita and Bogdan, I just think they're good strikers, so I don't really blame him too much for that. I mean, he beat the ghost of Dominic Reyes from the past, and I think he should be able to beat an old OSP too. I think this fight was rescheduled, so I'm thinking both of these guys should be prepared. And if I think back at the way Spann fought Smith, I kind of remember him kind of holding out in the first round, kind of just like not losing, but just kind of not using his full energy, and then round 2 he just went full blast. So I'm wondering if he's gonna do that in this one too versus OSP. Usually OSP loses by decision, it looks like. He has been knocked out in sub, obviously, after all these UFC fights. 38 UFC or 28 UFC fights after this one. His last win was against Kennedy Nzechukwu, who is actually really impressive, because in that fight he was like a huge underdog. That's probably the only reason as to why I'm feeling a little iffy about the Ryan Spann pick. But I don't know. I don't think he can keep up the win streak. As you see, if you go back to OSP's like past fights, he wins 1, loses 2, wins 1, loses 2. So I think he's gonna lose this one, mostly because of Ryan Spann's age. I'm going to be picking him, but the fight history, and if I look at their stats, let's see. Their significant strikes are pretty much almost the same, I would think, and as for their grappling, like the same as well. So I'm thinking this one's probably going to come down to cardio, because they are at elevation. So I'm thinking cardio is going to be a big factor in this, and age might really affect that. So cardio as well as just endurance in terms of how much they're willing to take. So I think age is going to play a big factor in that. I don't want to say it's a lock. on Ryan Spann either. I'm probably gonna say I'm like 55-60% siding with Spann to win, but like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if OSP won too, because you know that win against Kennedy is actually pretty impressive. So I'm still gonna be going Ryan Spann by round 2 TKO. I think, like I said earlier, I think he's gonna hold out in round 1, just kind of feel things out, and then round 2 I think he's gonna go full blast like how he usually would and just get a finish. So yeah, Spann by round 2 KO. If OSP were to win, I think it'd be by decision. If not, actually, you know, OSP, he's a vet, you know, I think he can win in any sense. But if I were to pick for OSP in terms of his method of victory, I would think it'd be KO, decision, submission in that order. But I'm picking Spann by round 2 TKO. Let's go to the next fight. Almost forgot to show you guys their Instagram. This is Ryan Spann's Instagram. Nothing in particular that's interesting. Here he is having dinner with his family, so that's nice. And yeah, nothing really else much. He doesn't really post much. He posted his fight from him and Krylov. So other than that, there's not really much in between. This is OSP's Instagram. He doesn't post much either. I think, oh wow, is this the fight between, I forgot who that was, but a good KO. So OSP's always live for a KO, I think, especially against Spann. But I'm still picking Spann on this one. Definitely gonna bet OSP by KO, because I think he's right now OSP is a plus 220, which is, you know, not the best number, but Ryan Spann at minus 270 doesn't really sound appealing. But yeah guys, let's go to the next fight. Okay guys, so for the next fight we have a fight between Cesar Almeida versus Ihor Potieria. This fight is a fight between two strikers. If you guys didn't know, Cesar Almeida is actually training with Alex Pereira and Glover Teixeira at their gym. So here they are training. So I feel like it's like a perfect combination for him to be training with in terms of grappling and striking. I think him and Pereira actually fought in the past. Let me double check. He's Brazilian. He's 5-1. He won his Contender Series fight in 2023 in August, and then he won his debut. He did lose his a fight with Roman Kopylov, which I don't really blame him because he's really good, and it was a split decision loss. But in the past, he has fought Alex Pereira and actually beat him over 10 years ago in kickboxing. So I'm gonna be picking him by KO in round. What did I have it at? Let me see. Round 1. Yeah, round 1. Because I was thinking round 2, but I think with all the training and training with Alex, training with Glover, I think he's going to be a lot more confident versus Ihor Potieria, who has been finished before a lot in round 1 and round 2. But I think Cesar's going to be just really confident and put him away quick. As for the elevation, I would think it's probably more of a motivation to have him get finished earlier. So I'm pretty sure Cesar can get a round 1 finish, if not a round 2 at the very latest. But I'm going round 1. Here's the Instagram. Like I said, here's him with Alex and Glover. So that's pretty cool. Here's Ihor's Instagram. Nothing in particular to look at, honestly. I didn't really notice anything. Just the usual stuff. But yeah, even if you look at their stats, Ihor actually absorbs a lot more punches than Cesar. So I'm pretty sure Cesar's gonna, I don't want to say just flat out KO him, but I think Cesar's gonna catch him really good and win by TKO or KO. But yeah guys, let's go to the next fight. Oh, but if Ihor were to win, I do think it's by KO too. I mean, if you look at his wins, they're usually by KO, maybe a sub or decision. But I just don't see him outpointing Cesar, and I don't see him subbing Almeida. But you never know, it could happen. Almeida has lost before, but only by decision, it looks like. So he's not going to get finished easily. So Ihor, I just don't think he can outpoint Cesar, and I'm going to be going Cesar by KO. The odds right now have Cesar at a minus 420. So I mean, I'm definitely confident on the pick. I just don't think it should be a minus 420. I would think it'd be like a minus 300, I would think, if not a little bit more, minus 350. So I think it's a little high. I'm going to be putting like a bet on Ihor by KO, but I think that'd be like the only thing. Not much though, that's for sure, because I think this is probably one of my for sure more comfortable picks, and the odds reflect it. But let's go to the next fight. I think that was an easy pick. Okay guys, so for this next fight we have Alexander Hernandez versus Austin Hubbard. They're both the same age, guys. Both of these guys are 32 years old. They're actually pretty young. I thought these guys were older. Just looking at the records, I just don't like the pick of Alex Hernandez. In his last 5 fights, he's only won once versus Jim Miller. Austin Hubbard, I think he has a way better record in terms of his last 5 fights. Yeah, they were in the Ultimate Fighter, but even then, I think it's, you know, fights are fights. He went split with Roosevelt Roberts, so I would say that's pretty decent. He beat Aaron McKenzie, whoever that is, and Michael Figlich. So I think think he should be able to win this by decision. I don't think Alexander can finish Hubbard easily, that's for sure. And if you look at Alexander's record history, he's only winning by a round 1 TKO or overhand right hooks. And it's it's versus Mike Breeden, who's 11-6, 1-3 in the UFC. I'm not impressed by Alexander's record, that's for sure. I mean, he did go split with Damon and Bill, and he got finished by Billy Quarantino. I mean, he has been fighting decent names, I would say, that's for sure. So I think this might be definitely a level, a step down in competition for Alexander, I would think. But I think Austin Hubbard seems to have a more experience now, maybe more confidence. I would think he's not going to get finished easily by Alexander. And if you look at their stats, Alexander actually has barely better strikes. If anything, they're almost similar. I would just say similar. Strikes landed per minute, 4.11 for Austin Hubbard, 4.33 for Alexander. So, and then as for their takedowns, Austin Hubbard has more takedowns with a better accuracy. So everything's just kind of pointing in terms of Alexander, at least for the stats on paper, MMA math. Even beyond that, I just think that the momentum on Austin Hubbard's side is better. He's training out of Colorado, Denver, and if you go to their Instagrams, this is Austin Hubbard's Instagram. He just had a baby, so he has more of a motivation to obviously win. And I would think he has the same amount of experience, if not good enough to beat Alexander, because Alexander does have a lot of fights in the UFC. He has been training with Roy Val. I think he's part of the same team, obviously. So I think that's definitely a good thing, but I think Austin Hubbard just has a better UFC record, that's for sure. Yeah, versus Alexander Hernandez, who's 6-7. I mean, yeah, he's due for a win. If you look at, I don't want to say the patterns, but I mean, he won 1, lost 2, won 1, lost 2. Maybe he wins this one too, but I'm not going to go straight off the pattern. I'm going to go off of my gut, because that was the first thing that I picked when I saw the fight. I was thinking that Hubbard could take this to decision and probably get the win, but I wouldn't be too surprised if Alexander wins too. I'm kind of surprised that right now there's no odds out, or at least not out, but there's no odds on Bovada for this fight for Hernandez versus Hubbard. It doesn't say it on Tapology either, so I don't know if this fight was added later on into the card or recently, but either way, I'm picking Hubbard by decision. If Alexander were to win, I think it'd be by KO, maybe decision. Most likely, if Alexander were to win, I would think it'd be KO, decision, and then submission. I don't think he's gonna try to go for a sub. Does he have submission wins? I think he does. Yeah, he does. Not many, but I think if he does beat Hubbard, I would think it would be by KO, if not decision, maybe. But I think he he could beat Hubbard more likely in a decision, because Hubbard loses more often by decision. I think I'm kind of 50-50. Alexander could win by decision or TKO. Maybe, now that I'm thinking about it, I think Hernandez could win by decision. I think this one for sure goes to distance now that I'm thinking about it. I feel like it'd be definitely I don't want to say a dogfight, but it's going to be a war. Whoever has the better cardio, that's for sure, is going to help a lot. And I'm thinking that Austin Hubbard should be able to do it. But yeah, guys, let's go to the next fight. Okay, guys, so for the next fight, we have Marina Rodriguez versus Iasmin Lucindo. Off the bat, guys, I'm going to say that I do already like Marina. I think I already kind of have a bias towards Marina. I think she's pretty good, pretty entertaining striker. I do think she can win by decision versus Lucindo, which is what I'm picking. Honestly, I think this is kind of a hard one, guys, because I do kind of want to start off that, Marina obviously has been in the UFC for a bit. She's a good striker and all. Lucindo has been training with Jandaroba. He's been training with Amanda Nunes. So she's been training with some really good people. And if you look at Lucindo's record, she actually has been doing really good. And her only loss recently has been against Iasmin. I mean, Iasmin did have that loss recently again. I forgot who Iasmin got knocked out by, but Iasmin got knocked out. But other than that, Iasmin is actually a pretty good fighter, I would think. So this makes me kind of think that if she lost to Iasmin, she probably doesn't have the KO power, but which kind of surprised me, because if you look at this, she's never been KO'd and she has KOs before. Maybe Iasmin's chin cracked recently and that's why she couldn't finish Iasmin, but she did lose to Iasmin by decision. But other than that, she's been on a 3-fight win streak. She actually got a performance of the night a year ago in August versus Polyana. It kind of makes me think, is the momentum not a sign that she's better, but is she improving that much that she can beat Marina, who obviously has been at the top of her division, fighting Andrade, Watterson, Jandiroba. She lost to Jandiroba, but it makes me think, yeah, she lost to Jandiroba, but does that mean Lucindo is the same level as Jandiroba because they're training together? I don't know. I would think that Lucindo's plan for sure is to take Marina down, because obviously I would think Marina's probably the better striker here. So Lucindo should probably be able to take Marina down and control her and maybe win. But I'm thinking Marina's takedown defense should be enough to keep her up and win her the decision. Honestly, guys, if I were to change any picks, I think this might be one of them, because right now I think Marina is an underdog right now at a plus 142 versus Lucindo, who's a minus 168. I kind of am curious as to what the odds are going to be like closer to Saturday, because today's Tuesday night at least. So I'm wondering what people are going to be siding on towards the end of the week. But right now I'm siding with Marina. Like I said, I do have a little bit of a bias. I do think she's a good striker, and she's only lost to the best people. So I think that's kind of what makes me think that Marina should be able to win this. But what worries me is how good Lucindo is getting, because obviously it seems like she's for sure improving. She beat, what's her name? She beat Carolina. She beat Pollyanna, which isn't that impressive, or Brogan Walker, which is for sure not that impressive. But beating Carolina on a win streak is actually pretty impressive, I would say. So it just makes me think, like, is she just getting that much better, that much quicker? I don't know, and I'm thinking, and I'm gonna bet that she's not right now, at least. Like I said, I might switch the pick. This probably might be one of my lowest confident picks, because I'm already talking about switching, so I might. But right now I'm gonna be going Marina by decision. I think the takedown defense is gonna be enough to keep her up, outstrike Lucindo, and just win it by decision. Maybe get a finish by TKO, but I'm thinking Marina probably wins it by decision. She doesn't get submission wins often, so most likely she'll probably win by decision, if not a TKO. As for Lucindo, if she does win, I think if I were to pick Lucindo, I think, it would for sure probably be decision, if not TKO as well, obviously. I don't think she's gonna go for a sub, but it's a fight. You never know who if either side is gonna go for a sub if they get the opportunity. But I'm gonna be going Marina by decision on this one. Super unsure about this one. If I were to bet this one, for sure I would think it'd probably go over 1.5, that's for sure. If not, I would think it'd go the distance, I think. But definitely don't think this one is don't advise that anyone bets, for sure, but I wouldn't bet on this one much. If not, maybe it going over 1.5, but I'm pretty sure the odds for that are going to be pretty high. If not, I'm pretty sure people also think that's going to happen. Like I said, Marina's a plus 142, Lucinda's a minus 168. I don't really like the odds that much for me to like I said, bet money line on either end, because I think either girl has a really good shot. Marina being the vet, the vet striker, versus Lucindo, who's the up and coming, new dog in the division pretty much, who's training with Jandiroba, Amanda Nunes. Definitely sounds pretty good, but I don't know if she's gonna be on a 4th fight win streak, and I'm gonna think that Rodriguez should be able to get this one by decision. Like I said, this is Marina's Instagram. Nothing in particular that I noticed. Probably just doing the same old. Hopefully working on her grappling, I would hope. And like I said, this is Lucindo's Instagram. She is a purple belt, it looks like. So yeah, we'll be able to see how decent she is, and I'm hoping Marina can get the win. But let's go to the next fight. Okay, guys, so for the next fight of the night, we have Stephen Thompson and Joaquin Buckley fighting. It's the last fight in the prelims. Honestly, guys, I think this is going to be a really good fight. Obviously, both of these guys are really big names, I would say stars in the UFC. Joaquin Buckley, I think, is pretty funny. Stephen Thompson, obviously Wonder Boy, pretty well known in the UFC. Older now, I would think. Wonder Boy is now 41 years old, and just by starting off with saying that, I'm gonna be picking Buckley, because you guys know I don't like picking these old guys. Wonder Boy just lost to Shavkat, and if I remember correctly, I gotta double check this, Shavkat got like an injury in that fight, or he had an injury and he still beat Stephen Thompson. I don't know if I'm just imagining that, but I do somewhat have like a memory of Shavkat being injured or having something, and him still beating a Wonder Boy. Before that, Wonder Boy beat Kevin Holland, lost to Bilal, Gilbert Burns. So obviously he's only losing to literally the best people, Anthony Pettis, Darren Till. But these are years ago, these fights. So the last time he fought, almost a year ago versus Shavkat, last year, 2023 in December, that's when he fought Shavkat. So it's almost coming up to a year, not too long, honestly. So he does stay pretty active, I would say. Maybe he fights once a year. So I would think Wonder Boy should be able to be ready in terms of cardio, that's for sure, because he's going to be moving around a lot, and I think that's going to be for sure a big thing versus Buckley, who's probably going to want to take him down. But after seeing Buckley take down Nurselton, I don't want to say super easily, but pretty convincingly, he didn't get the finish on Nurselton, which I kind of was expecting, if not wanting, but he did beat him unanimously. He beat Luque, finished him, which I thought was kind of a weird win. He beat Morono and he beat Fialho. Before that, he did lose to Chris Curtis and Nasruddin, and both these guys are actually really good. And then before that, a bunch of wins. So I think Buckley should be able to beat a 41-year-old Wonder Boy. As long as Buckley can take Wonder Boy down, he could probably beat him. I don't think he's going to be able to outstrike Wonder Boy, and I think both of these guys know that. I think it's going to be another one of those fights where there's going to be a guy that tries to take the other person down, and Buckley, I'm thinking he should be able to do it. I'm going to be picking him by round 3 TKO. I would think that Buckley is going to be able to grind it out, have the cardio ready for this fight, and just keep grinding on Thompson in terms of trying to take him down, ground and pound. And I think he's going to be able to finish him in round 3 maybe. If not a decision, I was thinking decision 2 on Buckley, but I'm thinking he could get a finish with the TKO. I don't think Thompson's going to want to be taking a bunch of strikes, so I don't want to say he's going to give up, but I'm hoping the ref stops the fight if Buckley just, keeps on getting the ground and pound, because I don't think he's going to just flat out KO Thompson, that's for sure. And maybe he'll get a sub on Thompson. I am considering that, but I just think a ground and pound is more likely. As for Thompson, if he does win, I think it would be by decision, if not a TKO. I don't know. I kind of really like this pick. I have been liking Buckley recently. I have been picking him recently too. I picked him versus Nurselton, so that was a really satisfying pick. And I'm thinking he should be able to beat Wonder Boy too. So I'm gonna be picking Buckley by round 3 TKO. And like I said, if Wonder Boy were to win, I think it would be by decision, if not TKO, and then submission after that. But let's go to the next fight. Oh, I almost forgot to show you guys their Instagram. This is Joaquin's Instagram. Obviously, he's training, his wrestling, grappling, cardio, stuff like that. What else should I mention? He's posting about Wonder Boy, interviews and stuff like that. Just staying really active in terms of, I guess, like media or UFC media. I think he does like a really good job. If not, he really tries to like promote himself. So that's really cool to see. And I think he's actually pretty funny. If not, I think he's a really like energetic guy, likable guy, that's for sure. And here is Wonder Boy's Instagram. The usual, just signing stuff for the fights, posting about Buckley. And then he has this photo. I'm not sure why he posted that, but Wonder Boy 2.0 might be coming if he beats Buckley. Who knows? But I'm still going to be picking Buckley on this one. I think he gets the win. But let's go to the next fight. Okay, guys. So for this next fight, we have Kevin Holland versus Roman Dolidze. Honestly, guys, this one is a little bit confusing. Not really too confusing, but I guess I was picking Roman Dolidze by decision is what my gut told me when I first looked at the fight. But now that I'm looking at it a little bit more, I'm a little worried because I didn't know Roman Dolidze was going down from light heavyweight to middleweight. So I think it might, I'm still going to be picking Dolidze by decision, but I'm hoping it doesn't affect him in terms of his cardio at elevation or his chin. I mean, he is 36 years old versus Holland, who's 31. Holland is a slight favorite at a minus 170 right now. And Dolidze, actually, no, it kind of changed. On Bovada, it's minus 140. Dolidze is a plus 120, so it's pretty even almost. And I can kind of agree now that I'm kind of looking at both sides, because I was thinking Dolidze would probably be the favorite if he was younger, I would think, and would have more finishes. But when I look at their history, Dolidze just has some pretty decent wins. He beat Smith by unanimous. He's only lost to Nasruddin and Vettori before that, and those are actually really good fighters. So I think he should have the skill and durability, I would hope, to beat Holland, because if you look at Holland's wins, he usually wins by finish, and Roman Dolidze doesn't get finished easily, that's for sure. So I don't think Holland is going to be able to get a finish on Dolidze, and I could think that's another reason as to why the odds are evening out maybe, but the age is still there. Dolidze is 36, Holland is 31, so it does kind of make me think if Holland maybe out cardios Dolidze and just overwhelms him and catches him at a bad moment, he could beat Dolidze. But I'm going to be going with MMA math on this one. I think Dolidze doesn't get finished. I think he wins by decision, which is what he usually wins by. He has lost by decision before, so Holland could get a decision win, but I don't think he's going to outpoint Dolidze. I think I think Holland is going to rely on his striking and maybe try to get submissions here and there, but I just trust that Dolidze won't get finished, and I think he takes it to decision, and from there I think he wins a decision against Holland. If you look at their stats, they're not too much different, honestly, in terms of their striking. They're pretty similar. Kevin Holland does have a little bit more strikes landed per minute at 4 versus the 3 for Dolidze. And as for their takedowns, Roman does shoot takedowns, but not much. His takedown accuracy is only 40%. So I don't think he's going to be able to take Holland down if he wants to. I think this is going to be a striking match, which, like I said, kind of worries me, which is what I was saying at the beginning in terms of it confusing me. I think I do want to stick with the pick of Dolidze on this one, honestly, because I do like it, but I can also lean Holland. I can see that too, but I'm going to be going with the durability of Dolidze and hope that the weight cut doesn't affect him too much, and that the elevation doesn't affect him too much either. So I'm hoping Dolidze wins this one by decision, and if Dolidze doesn't win by decision, I think his next step up after that is probably a KO, most likely. But I don't think he's gonna get I don't think he's gonna KO Holland. I don't think Holland has been KO'd. Oh, he has. Not much though, and I don't think he's gonna sub Holland either. So I do think this is one of those fights that goes a distance too. But if Holland were to win, I just think he can do all three. I think he can get a submission, obviously a TKO, if not a decision too. But I'm going to be going Dolidze by decision. So here's Roman's Instagram. Notable things for sure is that he has been training at Extreme Couture. So that's definitely a positive for Roman. Not much else that I noticed. He's a father. So, that's another motivation. The usual stuff. And what I didn't know is that he is a EDC Asia and Oceania champion, as well as a world and Europe champion FILA grappling. So he does have grappling abilities, that's for sure. Here's Kevin's Instagram. Pretty interesting statistic here. He's tied with Alex for having the most fights since October 2021. So Alex and Kevin Holland are super active and have been for the past 2 years. So that's probably why they're really liked in UFC. Here he is, wrangling gators. Pretty good photo. Here he is, kind of making fun of when they called, I forgot, Crawford? I don't know this guy. He's a boxer. I want to say his name is Crawford. I don't know his name, but they called him Kendrick Lamar. Oh yeah, Terrence Crawford. But yeah, the usual stuff. But I'm still gonna be picking Dolidze by decision. Okay, guys. So for this fight, I'm a little surprised and I'm a little excited too. Honestly, we have Kayla Harrison versus Ketlen Vieira. As of right now, Bovada has Harrison as a -1,000. Vieira is a +625. So definitely going to be betting on Vieira by decision, if not maybe a finish on this one. But for sure going to be picking Harrison by decision. I know it sounds kind of counter. Oh, actually no, I'm picking Harrison by submission. Definitely see Harrison getting a decision, but I'm hoping Harrison could get a finish on this one if things go as to what I expect in terms of her getting better. Because honestly, guys, I picked freaking Holly Holm to beat Harrison. I don't know why I did that, but if Harrison can beat the GOAT of Holly Holm, then she could for sure finish Harrison, or she could for sure finish Vieira, I think. So I think Harrison definitely has a good chance of beating Vieira because Vieira doesn't really have a lot of wins by finish. She usually always goes to decision. So if Harrison can control the fight pretty much, she probably wins it. I mean, Ketlen has only lost to Pennington, the champ right now, and Yana Santos. But Kayla, she's 17-1. She's never been finished. She's only lost one decision versus Pacheco. And yeah, I just don't think I can see her losing to Vieira. I mean, yeah, the Pacheco loss is not too long ago, but since then, she finished Holly Holm, and Holly Holm is obviously like really old, but Ketlen Vieira, I feel like she can also get finished too. I mean, now that I'm kind of looking at it, I could see Kayla for sure taking it to the distance and not managing to get a finish, but I think she can. Man, now that I'm looking at it, Ketlen Vieira has never been subbed before. But I'm hoping that Harrison's control and maybe keep her on like a good position enough for her to get a submission. If I were to switch this one, I'm not going to switch picks to Ketlen because I do think Harrison should have the advantage in terms of the strength, that's for sure. If Harrison gets through the weight cut, no issues. She should have the advantage in terms of her size. But I don't know. I just don't think Ketlen could beat Harrison easily unless like maybe Harrison has like a bad weight cut or something where the cardio, the elevation affects them. So that's another thing when I'm thinking about this fight. Like who is going to have the better cardio, especially with Harrison cutting so much weight. I mean, I think Ketlen is actually pretty big too. And she has missed weight before where she lost versus Yana Santos. So that might be an issue on both ends, honestly. But I'm going to be riding the wave on this one and picking Harrison. I mean, the odds have it on her side for a reason. So I'm going to be picking Harrison as for a pick. I think she should be able to get a finish on this one. Right now, most people on Typology have Harrison by... Oh, they actually have submission too. And 27% of people that are picking Harrison are picking decision. 16 are picking KO. And then 56 are picking submission like me. Even though Ketlen has never been subbed either. So I think people are kind of seeing the capability of Harrison after she finished Holly Holm. Because if I look, I don't think Holly Holm has been subbed often. Yeah, she's only been subbed once. Oh no, actually twice. So Holly Holm doesn't get subbed often, and I think maybe it could be another first for Vieira. I think Harrison should be able to win this one. If she can get the takedowns, she should be able to control the fight. But the one thing that's kind of scary is that Ketlen's takedown defense is 92%. So it's like, it makes you think like if Harrison can't take it to the ground, is Vieira just going to piece her up on the feet? And I would think maybe so. But then you look at the strikes, the significant strikes statistics for each one. Harrison apparently lands 7 per minute and Ketlen lands 3. The striking accuracy for Harrison is 71. Honestly, I don't even know if these are accurate, honestly. This is from the UFC site. So I'm hoping it is. Yeah, see? It even reflects here. Defense for significant strikes for Kayla is 83. 71% landed. 7 per minute. So if that's accurate, then obviously you should, not to say you should, but I can see people as to why people are siding with Harrison. I mean, I'm picking her. So like I said, I think if Harrison wins, it'll probably be by, I'm picking submission, maybe decision, maybe a ground and pound TKO too. If I were to pick Ketlen, it'd be by decision, obviously. If you look at Ketlen's records, she usually wins by decision, so that's not too hard of a pick if you were to pick her. But I kind of honestly also see Ketlen TKOing Harrison for whatever reason. I kind of feel like Harrison's gonna have more trouble with the weight cut or the elevation, and maybe that's gonna like weaken her. But who knows? I'm still picking Harrison, and let's go to the next fight. Oh, and I forgot to mention here their Instagrams. So here's Kayla's Instagram. As we all know, she trains with Alex. You know, here they are having fun. Also pretty funny. Kind of shows her strength. I think he says Chama. It's so funny, man. Oh god. Yeah, so she's boys with Alex, you know, she trains with Nina, obviously. You know, so she's into the UFC like I guess like, you know, scene pretty much versus Ketlen Vieira. You know, here's her Instagram. Nothing too notable. I think her girlfriend not trains, but her girlfriend fights in Invicta. I don't know her record, but might be decent. Like I said, this one's not too much of a confident pick either. I don't know why the odds are so crazy for Kayla, honestly. I can see Vieira winning this too. If Kayla can't control Vieira, then, I mean, obviously, but definitely going to go Harrison for sure on the pick, like I said. Round 3 submission, but I can also see Vieira getting a decision win. But let's go to the next fight, guys. Definitely something I would bet on in terms of, at least me. This isn't betting advice or financial advice, but I'm going to be betting at least 50 cents on like freaking Vieira by decision, or, you know, some methods here and there, or on rounds or something, who knows. But this one should be a good fight, I hope. let's go to the next fight. Okay, guys. So for this next fight, we have Jose Aldo versus Mario Bautista. We have a vet in Jose Aldo fighting I would say an up-and-coming fighter with a really good record, 14-2. Bautista's from America. If you look at their records, Bautista has a really good win streak going on right now. He beat Ricky in the last fight in January of this year. He beat Blackshear by unanimous. Guido Canetti, don't know who he is, honestly. Benito Lopez, don't know. Brian Kelleher, I think he sucks, honestly, I think. And Jay Perrin. So 4 of those wins aren't really that impressive. Those last 2 wins are, I think. And then Jose Aldo, if you look at his wins, they're just up against really good people. He's beating Rob Font, Pedro Munoz, Marlon Vera, Jonathan Martinez. So other than the age, I just see everything in siding with Jose Aldo. Not everything. For sure, the record, you know, he's 14-7 in the UFC. He was a champ before. Bautista's 8-2. So I don't want to say the records are similar, but for sure, Jose Aldo has the experience and the better fighters on his resume. If you look at their statistics, though, it's not too much of a big difference in their accuracy. Bautista does land more at 5.6 versus Jose Aldo, who lands 3.6. So the striking isn't too different. I think this is going to come down to skill, cardio, obviously heart, and I guess planning too, because I think this is going to be a striking match. I don't think either guy is going to want to shoot for a takedown unless they have to. Obviously Jose Aldo has really good takedown defense at 91% versus Bautista, who does shoot takedowns often, but I don't think that's his main source of trying to get a finish. I think he can maybe try to take it to the ground, but I don't think he's going to want to try with Jose Aldo, who has 91% takedown defense. But it makes me wonder, like, is Bautista's striking going to be better than Aldo's? I don't think so, honestly. I think in this fight, I don't think Jose's age is going to play much of a factor, because he's only 38 years old. Yeah, he's only 38 years old, 5'7", 70-inch reach, versus Mario Bautista, who's 31 years old, 5'9", with a 69-inch reach. So other than the age, I think they're almost similar, and I think this is going to come down to skill. Aldo's been boxing recently, so I'm pretty sure he should have good like twitch muscles to try to get good counters and things like that, and better punches like in the moment in the firefight. So I'm going to be picking Aldo on this one, guys, by decision. I don't think he's going to finish Bautista. I think maybe he could get a TKO, honestly, but I think this is going to be a war. And I don't want to say it's going to be a split decision win for Aldo, but I think it's going to be a war, and it's going to be a good fight. But I think Aldo's going to win this one by decision. Aldo could get a TKO, but if Mario were to win, I think the same thing too, honestly, decision or TKO. I don't think either guy's going to want to try to go for a sub unless it just happens. But I think this is going to be a striking match, and I think both guys are going to endure it. So for sure, if I were to bet this one, not financial advice, but I were to bet this one, probably going for sure over 1.5, I think, if not going the distance. So I don't think that's going to be a hot take. Right now, the odds have Jose Aldo at a plus 130, which surprises me. I should probably put some money in on that right now. And then Mario Bautista has a minus 150. So maybe I should probably watch some tape just to be sure, because I think just based off the records that Jose Aldo should be the better striker here. But I don't remember much of Bautista to be confident that he's a better striker, especially looking at his record. So definitely gonna have to revisit this one, but I do like the Jose Aldo pick for sure after him being the underdog in the last fight. I think I picked against him for sure in the last fight, but he ended up winning, and I think he was the underdog. So I don't want to do it again versus another guy like Mario Bautista, who I wouldn't say isn't proven, but doesn't have the best resume, I think. And if he beats Aldo, for sure Bautista is going to be that next guy, I think. But I think this is going to be a really good test for both guys in terms of where they're at, and I think Jose Aldo is going to take this one and win. Here are their Instagrams, the usual. Here he is on his moped, the usual stuff. Here he is with his family. Here he is with Nina, and here's Mario's Instagram. Here he is with his team. I don't really recognize anyone from that team or those people there. Pretty usual posts. I don't see him training with anyone in particular. Yeah, it makes me wonder. I'm pretty sure their plan is on both sides is to strike, but who knows? I'm excited to see this fight for sure. I think it could be another highlight on either end, but I'm thinking Jose can get the finish on this one. It looks like Bautista is a black belt. So, you know, it makes you think, like, does Bautista want to take it to the ground, or is he going to plan to try to take it to the ground versus Jose's takedown defense? I don't know. Like I said, definitely a good fight to watch out for. And, you know, with a legend like Aldo, should definitely be a good fight. But I'm going Aldo by decision. Next fight. Okay, guys. So for this next fight, we have Raquel Pennington versus Julianna Pena fighting for the women's bantamweight title belt. So this is for the belt, guys. This is going to be Raquel's first title defense after she beat Maria Buenasilva in the last fight. Honestly, guys, I'm going to be going with Pennington off of this one. I think most people are picking Pennington. The odds have Pennington at -170 versus Pena, who's a +145. I mean, with WMA, you never know what could happen, but I'm going to be siding with Pennington in terms of her resume and even the stats. If you look at their stats, not too much of a big difference, but Pennington does have better striking stats. If you look at them, I think she has more landed per minute at 4 versus Julianna at 3. Significant strikes is a little bit better at 52% versus 47 for Julianna. 3.29 absorbed for Pennington and 2 absorbed for Pena, which is kind of surprising. I thought Pena would have a lot more absorbed strikes. And then their defense is 60% for Pennington and 50 for Pena. I would think Pena is more likely to want to take it to the ground. It seems like Pennington doesn't really do much takedowns, and her takedown defense is 63% versus takedown accuracy of Pena, which is 55%. It makes me think, like, what is Julianna Pena's plan going to be? Is she going to try to take Raquel down and try to sub her like she did with Amanda Nunes? Or is it going to be the same plan like how she fought Amanda both times, where Pena just try to pretty much brawl with Pennington and just try to like gas her? And this is at elevation, guys, so maybe that's going to be part of Pena's plan, just to kind of like overwhelm Pennington and just get her in like bring into deep ocean, as she likes to say. So it makes me wonder what Pena's plan is going to be. But I think Pennington should be able to win this. If you look at her record, she's been Mayra Benasilva, Ketlen Vieira, Aspen Ladd, Macy Chiasson, who's really good, Kian Zad, Marlon Renault. She lost to Holly Holm years ago, but you know, that was back then, 4 years ago, almost 5. And she lost to Amanda Nunes when she challenged her for the belt back in 2018, and Jermaine Zarandami. But she beat Marina Aldana, you know, back in the day too. So I think she just has overall a bunch of good wins over good people versus Julianna Pena, who, I mean, yeah, she beat the GOAT in Amanda Nunes, you know, being a huge underdog. But I don't know. I just don't think she can recreate that moment, especially with Pennington, who doesn't get finished easily. Yeah, she doesn't get really finished easily. She usually loses by decision, and I just don't see Pena outpointing Pennington, you know? So like I said, with their stats, with their records, I'm for sure leaning Pennington on this one. I'm going to be going decision, because last time I picked Pennington by decision, she ended up getting the decision win against Mayra Benasilva. So I'm going to do it again. I think Pennington was the underdog in the last fight, I think. So I think I was kind of happy with that pick last time I picked her. But this time, like I said, she is the favorite at a -170. Pena being a +145. I'm going to be picking Pennington by decision. I would say I'm pretty comfortable with the pick. Not super confident, but definitely like it. If Julianna were to win, I think it'd be by submission, just how she got Amanda. I don't think she's gonna like TKO or point out Pennington. I don't think so, at least. I think Julianna's only route is to maybe sub Pennington, maybe the TKO, ground and pound, you know, control. But I just don't see Pennington getting to that position. I think Pennington should be able to keep it on the ground, or keep it on the feet, or where she wants, pretty much, and just point it out that way, and maybe even get a finish on Pena. But I don't think so. I think Pennington is going to try to play it safe. You know, it is 5 rounds at elevation, so I think both sides are probably going to wait it out, at least to the later rounds, to try to like try anything. So this is another fight where I think it's going to go the distance, I think, if not at least over 3, I think, for sure over 2, I think, for sure. I don't see this ending in before round 3. So I'm going to be going Pennington by decision. And like I said, if Pena were to win, I think it could be by submission. But yeah, guys, this should be a really, I don't want to say a good fight, but it could be a very historic moment for WMMA. And who knows, if Pena gets the win again, she's going to have the last laugh on all of us, you know? But, you know, in saying that, I don't really dislike Pena. I think she's kind of funny. I think I like how she's always just talking shit, you know? I am looking forward to this fight, and I am looking forward to what happens with the division and who these girls fight after this fight. Yeah, guys, let's go to the next fight. Oh, almost forgot to show you guys their Instagram. So here's Pennington's Instagram.
Like I said earlier, she is married to Tecia Pennington. They have a kid together. Even mentioning Kayla. So maybe she's already expecting the fight with Kayla. I'm not too sure. Here she is with Tecia. Yeah, I think I am liking this Pennington pick. I do think she defends her belt. And I do think that she beats Pena. So yeah, let's see how they perform. This is Pena's Instagram. The usual stuff, like I always say. Her with Hulk Hogan, the usual. And, more posts. Oh, think down here a little bit more. I do want to mention that Pena is training with Bilal. We cannot forget that, guys. Pena is training with the GOAT, Bilal Muhammad. Remember the name. I remember. I think she should be able to, benefit from working with Bilal. And I don't know if because Bilal has good, like, I would say just overall everything, grappling. So I just don't know what they're focusing on when they're planning for Pennington. But definitely working with Bilal is a good thing, I think. So that's definitely a positive. But I'm still gonna be picking Raquel on this one. I think she is the rightful champion, and I think she gets the dub. But yeah, let's go to the next fight. Okay, guys, so we finally have the last fight of the night. We have the GOAT, or one of the legends, Alex Pereira versus Khalil Rountree. We have two kickboxers fighting, two strikers. So this is definitely going to be some fireworks, definitely a finish, definitely a highlight, I think. So off the bat, guys, I don't really want to go too much into this because, everyone has their picks. But I'm picking Alex by round 1 KO, like most people. Everyone has their doubts as to why they think Khalil might win. And yeah, it's all great to hear about. But it just makes sense to pick Alex. If you look at his history, he's literally fighting like some of the best people on the planet. Obviously, Izzy beating him twice. Is it twice? Well, once in UFC and, twice in kickboxing. Just makes you think that, like, if he can beat strikers like Izzy, like Sean Strickland, Jan Blachowicz, Jamal Hill, why can't he beat Rountree? Like what? Like, yeah, people say that Rountree's a Freemason, he's in the Illuminati, all that stuff. I'm just kidding, I don't know. But he's a model for Prada, stuff like that. He does, I guess, like stuff for fashion. I guess he seems to be into fashion. For sure a Freemason though, like I said. And yeah, I feel like he definitely does have a chance. I'm not counting him out. That's for sure. You never count one of these guys out in MMA. It just makes you think, what is his way to victory? Like, his only way is to obviously not get caught by that left hook of Alex. And if you look at the stats, Khalil does get hit. His defense is only 50%. Strikes absorbed per minute for Khalil is 4 versus Alex being at 3.6 or 3.5. And the striking accuracy for Khalil is only 39% versus Alex, who is 63%. So it just kind of makes you think, like, where, even in the striking, where is Khalil better? Like, yeah, he can catch Alex, but so can everybody else. Like, Jan could have caught Alex, but I mean, I could see as to why more likely Khalil is more likely to KO Alex versus other people, maybe because he's a really good kickboxer. The confidence is there, the momentum, he has nothing to lose. So obviously all those things are in Khalil's favor, which is, would be in favor of anyone challenging for the championship belt. What's the most likely route for victory for Khalil? And I think that's KOing Alex. I don't think he's going to try to grapple Alex. I'm definitely leaning Alex on this one. If you go to their Instagram, Alex is becoming a huge star in the UFC. He has almost 5 million followers. This is back in the day, literally from rags to riches. So I'm pretty sure he has the motivation still. He still has that drive to be the best, like, even though he's gone to this point, I don't think he wants to stop. And I think he just wants to add on to his, like, I guess, resume. And, I feel like it's time for him to get another win and defend his belt. Just like how Izzy did laps around the division, I think Alex can do laps around the division too, I think he has what it takes. Here he is with Zuckerberg, kind of random, but, he's drawing all these people around him because of how good he is. It might be the indigenous genes or the black magic, as some like to say, but who knows? I'm thinking it's skill. I'm thinking it's dedication. And I think that he should get another win versus Khalil. Khalil, if he were to win, I think it'd also be TKO. If I were to bet any of this, not financial advice, but
I'd for sure bet a KO in this fight. I think there's going to be another highlight, a KO, I think. Definitely a finish of whatever sort. So definitely not going the distance on this one. Definitely excited for this one. You know, I'm excited to see all the black magic memes, all the Poaton memes, all the Khalil Rountree memes. You know, it's pretty funny. If you guys didn't know, Khalil Rountree used to be like 300 pounds, but now he's like super aesthetic, you know, lost weight, and now he's in the Illuminati. Or he's a Freemason, I should say. So you never know. Khalil could be the champ by the end of this Sunday or Saturday. Definitely not gonna doubt him, but I'm gonna be riding with my boy Alex and hoping that Poaton pulls this off. But yeah, guys, that's the last fight. I don't think there's really much else other to talk about other than thanking you guys for watching, liking the videos, subscribing. I have 32 subscribers now, so thank you guys so much for subscribing. If you guys haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It'll definitely help me out. If not, just comment anything, like a thumbs up or a heart. A couple of other people did that recently, so if you just comment like any emoji, even like the eagle emoji for Ortega or something like that. But yeah, just comment anything, like the video, share the video, that'd be great too. And yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.